Hi, you're watching Hindustan Times State of States, and I'm Aditi Prasad. Today, we're going to discuss the Agra model of containment, and we're going to look at how it is today lying in tatters. Just a few weeks ago, the center had praised the Agra model for its effective cluster containment strategy. But now, after a shocking viral video showing people at COVID-19 quarantine centers really scrambling for essentials like tea biscuits that went viral between yesterday and today. Then, just a couple of hours before that, the mayor, the Agra mayor, in fact, has gone on to say that Agra is well on its way to becoming the Wuhan of Uttar Pradesh, and he's urged for Yogi Adityanath to, sort of intervene in figuring out. He of course feels that the local administration is not being able to do enough to contain the problems in Agra and for the spread of COVID-19. I am joined today by prominent Agra citizens Rajiv Tiwari, who is former president of the National Chamber of Commerce and Industries Agra unit. Harvijay, he's a philanthropist, he's a photographer, and he's also a writer, and of course, the Hindustan Times editor joining us from Lucknow, Sunita Aaron. Sunita, let me talk about the shocking visuals from the quarantine facility in Agra, which emerged today. The state administration has now initiated an inquiry, but what on earth is going on in Agra?
You see, if I go by what Mayor has written to the Chief Minister, things are actually very bad, and somewhere the administration is not able to contain the rise in the cases. When Agra was the first one to report it, then after that they were the first one to start with the containment zones, hotspots, testing, even pool testing. Agra was the first one to do it, but somewhere in the process they went haywire. And like in Lucknow, they're able to contain. They are not able to contain the rise. It's the pace with which the cases are rising. So something has gone wrong there, and the administration will have to take proactive steps. I don't go by what opposition is saying, but when the BJP mayor is writing to the chief minister, there is something definitely wrong with the administration there.
Let me talk to Harbijay and to Rajiv Tiwari sir. Sir, what do you feel? You are prominent citizens of the city, of Agra city. What, according to you, is going on there? What seems to be the problem in the Agra model? Okay, Harbijay, let me come to you. Mr. Tiwari seems not to be able to be getting my voice, but Harbijay, can you shed light on what's going on there?
Yes, I think the situation definitely has gone a little out of hand, but I certainly not blame anybody at this moment because this is not the time to be critical. This is the time when we all have to understand the problem and cooperate with each other. There's nothing that can come from outside and help us at this moment, except that we need to be responsible towards it. And I think the sense of responsibility from the citizens play an equal part in containing this virus. And that's where we have to understand that. I can understand that Agra was on top of the list of improvements and blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, I think that led to complacency, and complacency led to a little bit of leniency. And then, of course, being too many festivals around within these few days, and people have not been able to discipline themselves in coming out in hordes, and probably that has been the major reason. I can appreciate and understand the mayor's feelings, but at the same time, I can also understand the administration's feelings. Definitely, they need to have some sense of improvement. But I certainly would like to put my one point of view that in times to come, we need to think about disaster management and crisis management. But there's a difference between disaster management and crisis management. The disaster is natural calamities, while crisis managements are things like these, which are disease oriented. And we need to put something in black and white right now, because I can assure you of that this is not going to end. And this virus is not going to go away. Mutation is going to play a major role, and this virus will stay hidden somewhere or the other in on this world, and it can affect us anytime. So now is the time, instead of criticism, to get down onto your table and work out a plan and implement it.
Sunita, let me just ask you this, and I'm bringing in here because I want to understand from you what is the sense that you get from the BJP mayor appealing to the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to kind of step in and intervene at what's going on. Yes, I understand, Harvijay, your point is very well taken. This is not the time for blame game, but this is the time for effective action on the ground. Do you feel that there is a need for an intervention from the Yogi government to to sort of contain the spread in Agra?
Exactly. You see, Aditi, it's very painful and it's very unfortunate that the mayor has said that Agra is turning into Wuhan. I hope Agra turned into Shanghai one day instead of Wuhan. But so far, even after the letter, the response has not been there. There is a need to send a team from from the state capital. Chief ministers should send a higher, because I also agree with Bhaiya to some extent that yes, this is not the time to indulge into blame game, but there has to be some reason that the mayor had to write a letter like this. So if she has written a letter, I think a high profile team should, health officials should go there and take some immediate steps to save Agra. And definitely, I agree with Bhaiya there also that the people will also have to cooperate. It's not what the government has to do, but the quarantine centers, the hospital, everything has to be taken care of. You can't, it's not for the people. Like one hospital, Paris hospital, I suppose, they had to close down after too many cases. And they closed down 2 days after we came to know that things are going bad there. Still, then they continued. I think Mr. Tiwari and also Mr. Bhaiya, who are there at the ground zero, will know more about it. But somehow the steps were taken a little late. That's how I look at it. And now it's for the government to take measures immediately. Immediately send a team and take steps there.
Let me just come to Mr. Tiwari. Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Right.
can hear
So,
you.
so have you seen the visuals that were of the quarantine facility in Agra, which sort of went viral on social media over the last couple of days? What, according to you,
Yeah.
what is the general feeling within Agra citizens about what's happening in Agra as far as the containment model, which was so well praised by the center, and rightly so a few weeks ago, and right now, do you believe it lies in tatters?
Yeah, that's true. Agra model was praised by the center and all around. But suddenly something went wrong. And something went wrong really badly. Now we have 371 cases, 9 deaths. And these centers are really in a bad shape. The hotspot areas are also increasing every day. So I feel that definitely there should be no blame game, but somebody has to take the responsibility. Somebody has to be take for accounted. And I feel the administration are doing their bit, but they need to put some more effort. As far as hospitals are concerned, they are also not uh, uh, attending the patients properly. Leave aside corona patients, they are not at all attending other patients of other diseases, and they are dying. The government hospital. So when you are not attending other patients, at least the corona patients should be taken care of. And I also have a feeling that there is some responsibility of our elected members too, be it mayor or the MP or other MLAs of the town. They should also uh, do something from their end to see that Agra doesn't turn into Wuhan of India. That's very important, because whatever is happening, if it keeps on increasing, it's very concerning for the people of Agra and even for the industry of Agra. Because when uh, lockdowns are over and things are there, but if Agra doesn't, if Agra, the cases, number of cases keep on increasing, it will be very difficult for the industries, especially the tourism industry, to come back on track.
You mentioned about the industry in Agra, and the lives versus livelihoods debate is what, in fact, even the the Prime Minister's meeting with the Chief Ministers today, that was one of the big points that was under discussion, how much to open up, how much not to open
Yeah.
up, because by May 3rd, we would have already done about 40 days of no economic activity or minimal economic activity in the country. We might be looking at a very, very tough times ahead. So clearly, on May 3rd, when we're talking about relaxation of lockdown and opening up the country for economic activity. Now, of course, Agra is not going to be, as open as the rest of the country. In fact, because it's one of the hotspots. What economic
Yeah.
hits do you think Agra as a city is taking because of this?
See, as far as the economic part is concerned, uh, first of all, we should be concerned of human lives. That is more important. And lockdowns are necessary. If they have to extend it, they should extend it. But with certain relaxations, they have given relaxations that out of the town, the factories which are running, they can run it. But then there are certain restrictions. The
Oh,
industry owner, he has to organize for their food, for their transport, for their living in there, and over and above, if any such case is found a positive in his industry, then he has to face the music. So under these circumstances, no one is going to open or start their industries or their business. So
I would
it's
say,
very
let me,
concerning
yeah,
what
yeah.
is going to happen in future, because when we talk of tourism, I feel 1.5 years, nothing is going to happen. People might shut down their business. Some of them may not be able to revive their business again. And it's very concerning. Even revenue of the government would go down very badly. So some steps from the side of the government to revive the economy should be taken.
Yes, so the government is already mulling steps to revive the economy across all the states really.
Yeah.
But I'm talking particularly about Agra, Harvijay, and I want to bring you in here. What bold decisions do you think are needed right now to sort of get Agra back on track to the model containment strategy, which once Agra was known for till barely 2 weeks ago. What bold decisions are needed to get to revive that bold containment strategy?
Okay. First, let me inform you something else. Where besides the tourism industry, Agra is the center of footwear in this country. And this is the intensive labor-oriented industry. Even if you get kind of permissions to open up these industries, it's not going to be easy. Primarily because of social distancing. Because how do you expect thousands of workers working in a factory? So even if
Right.
you open up the factories, these factories are not going to be 100% operational, because you can't cluster them into one premises. So the labor-oriented industry, which is Agra, which it is famous for, and that is the footwear industry, is going to face a tremendous problem even if they lift off the lockdown. No government can help in that, because definitely we have to keep some distance between workers. And the factories cannot increase space overnight. I mean, they are limited space, what they already have. And if in a factory there are 100 workers already working, they can only operate with 50 now. So that means the output will fall down dramatically to 50% or maybe less. And that is one problem which nobody can solve, because this is a
Right.
virus attack, and virus, you cannot be talking about going back to normalcy. I don't think so, because it will take a very long period before the government says, okay, now we can all operate 100%. So the footwear industry of Agra is certainly going to face a major problem of production.
Let me bring in Sunita here. And Sunita, my question to you is, how fear Agra has always been known for its poor civic infrastructure and sanitation issues. Was it always at risk of being hit by a spreading pandemic?
I'm sorry, I couldn't
Yes.
get you what you.
I think so, because for two reasons. Agra is a high density population. Second, you have a lot of foreign tourists also, and they were already there at that time. And it took some time for them to move out. And people for business also, They travel, even for footwear. I think their large portion is exports. Footwear exports forms are very, very important. So people travel throughout. And you have tourism is also, basically Agra is connected with the international world. It is not Agra as we see. You have two industries majorly, that is footwear as well as tourism, and you have people coming here around them. So definitely Agra was the most sensitive area. It was a more vulnerable area, and they did realize it. They did take a few steps, but in between somehow they went haywire. And I think even today they can manage it if the government sends a team of officials from here and take a look at the situation and try to contain it. It's doable.
Okay.
It's feasible.
It's not as though
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, please.
Absolutely. I think, Sunita ji, I agree with you that now the government of Uttar Pradesh has to send a team of observers. The
Yes.
administration is there, everything is here, the MLAs, MPs, and Nagar Mahapalika, Mayor, everybody is here. We already have everybody in place, but now we need some observers who can come here and observe and make sure that these things are implemented and followed.
Aditi, one thing I would like to tell you that Agra has a very
But
active civil society, very,
Yes,
very active,
and
with a lot
that is
of
why we
social
have, yeah.
responsibilities. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Tiwari, you wanted to
But
add
I
a point.
feel that already principal secretary level officer has been deputed for Agra to look after all these things. What is needed is uh, there is some sort of gap of coordination amongst the various departments, which is due to which such a situation is arising. So we have to pull our socks and make sure that from now onwards, the administration as well as the UP government takes strict measures and ensure that all the patients are attended properly, they are looked after properly, which is very important.
Right. So on,
Aditi,
yes,
can I add here? What the government has done is that in 14 districts having more than 20 cases, there they have sent deputed some officials and they've made some teams there. Agra needs special attention. This is one place in UP which calls for special focus, not
right.
like other, because today the number of cases are 381. They've gone up by another 10. So it
Yeah.
needs a special care now and concentration.
So Agra needing special care and concentration. That's the word from our panelists today. Of course, on March 6th or March 3rd, I think it was, six patients. There were only six patients in Agra who had tested positive for COVID-19. And of course, they will be dealing with over 380 cases. That's when the Agra model was invented on March 3rd. It involved door-to-door surveys, identification of suspected cases, of quarantining. In fact, a 3 kilometer area around COVID-19 hotspots was sort of declared containment zones with the 5 kilometer area as a buffer. Of course, that containment model was, of course, greatly applauded. But today, a lot has changed. And, with 380 cases, Agra definitely needs special care and time for the government to sort of pull up its socks and get its act together as far as saving Agra and from not letting it become the Wuhan of Uttar Pradesh. Thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast. We'll keep coming back to you with more. Keep watching
Thank you so
HindustanTimes.com.
much.